Hello friends, this is Ganesh and video number 3 on object-oriented ABAP. In this session, I'm going to give an example of static and instance. So you can try to understand when you have to go with static and when you go with the instance parameters or methods. Um, in basic, ABAP is a methodology or functionality or a concept, whatever it is, we are going to apply that for our requirement. So it depends on the requirement, it might change. So initially try to understand how a static works, how the instant work, and try to map it for your requirement. So that is an easy way to understand the OOPS as well as you're able to make use of the OOPS concept very well for your requirement. Okay, and try to map the logic based on the real-time object. That is the one line of object-oriented. Whenever you start learning object-oriented, the one line is map your real scenarios, map your requirement with the real-time scenarios or real-time objects. Okay, so just try to design in a way so it's very easy to get all the concepts of object-oriented irrespective of any language. Okay, so let me start with this slide. So my idea is before that just an overview of what is static, what is instance. So static is nothing but it's going to be a single copy for a class. Wherever in the class the particular static variable is updated is going to keep the data overall the particular scope of the class. Okay, that is a single copy. So it may be updated through a class, it may be updated through an object, whatever it is, or n number of object. This is going to keep the latest value or latest value of the particular variable. So that is the idea of static. So in your requirement, you feel some particular variable has to hold the updated value. It's keep on updating. You have to hold the updated value, go with the static. Okay. An instance is nothing but every object has its own memory. Just for reference, I'm saying. Just imagine an object, it has its own instance, its own memory area. So the variable, the global variable is going to be updated in that particular memory. Then the value is available only for that memory. So it won't be available for the other memory or other instance of the object. Okay, so that is the idea of instance. So whenever you feel there are some changes to be happen, but there is a restriction of the particular value, it won't be available for everybody or it won't be available for all the objects in the class. It should be available only for my instance, only for my memory place where the values are going to be. In that case, go with the instance variable. Okay, so very simple understanding. One example which I'm going to explain over here is production order status. So my requirement is there is a production order. It's going to be monitored by some people or it's going to be displayed in a shop floor monitor, and supervisor wants to know what is the status of this production order and some email notification to be triggered based on a status. Okay, so these are the requirement, and this order status can be updated from different departments. So department 1, department 2, or different other departments. So once the production order is created, that needs to be released, that needs to be quality inspected, and then they have to be start working on it. Somebody comes and they just completed partially, so partially they just completed it, and the next shift people and come and complete the particular production order, and then they can just close it. Okay, a lot of other stages are available. So every update, its update happens from different departments. So this is a requirement. Just try to map it with your OOPS concept. So different department is nothing but, okay, they may have different objects. So every department has its own object created for a particular class, and that particular method is going to be called, and they're going to update the status of the production order. And whoever is updating, but these people wants to see the updated, recent updated status of the production order. In that case, I'm going to keep the particular production order status variable as a static variable. So whoever is updating from a static method or instance method, updating the variable, it going to be keep the latest updated version of the production order status. Okay, so this is one idea of where I need a static information or static concept. Another one is, excuse me, overall material stock. Okay, so there are two scenarios. One scenario is okay, I have to know the material stock for my department, so I don't worry about whether it's going to be whether the stock for other department. Okay, in that is the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable for material stock in an instance method or instance variable, because whenever the object every department has its own object. Whenever through this department one object, if I call and update the material stock, that is available only for my department one. And department two has its own object. So like maybe object department two, if they update anything, it's going to be updated only in the material stock of the department two or object two. It won't be available for one and three. Okay, so in that scenario I'm going to keep all these or instance material, sorry, instance variable. Okay, and if you feel I want to have the overall material stock of this material, then for this particular area I'm going to create a static variable. So the my personal perspective was learn the concept and try to, even if it is a simple, even if it is wrong also, no issues. Whatever day-to-day work you are doing, try to map okay, this variable can be a static, this variable can be an instance. Okay, so it's going like 1 or 2 months automatically. You might understand when you go with the static, when you go the instance, and it's very easy to understand the existing program also, why they made this variable as static and how it behaves. Okay, so very simple. Try to map it in everyday work and let me know if you have any questions or queries. So I'm going to explain this in my system. So here this time I'm going to use SE24 because last video I completed with local class only for static and instance. Actually I forgot to explain in 24, so I will take a chance over here as well. I'm going to create a class as static or instance created. So I'm going to create a class and static and instance variable, sorry, instance examples, whatever this description, save it. Okay, so this is my class. So here I'm going to have the attribute first, static attribute. Sorry, I got a call. So I'm going to create an attribute, static attribute. Okay, I can say static production order status, and this is going to be my static attributes, and visibility is private. So mostly if you feel the variable class variable, you're not going to use it outside of the class, so please make sure it's a private one. Okay, you're going to use all the class attribute within the method, then keep it as private. That is one of the advantage in object oriented, so you can keep your data very secure. And here this is I'm talking about class attribute. Method has its own parameters. Maybe you can keep a different name, then it will be easy to understand. So class has attributes, method has parameters. Okay, import parameter or export parameters. And I'm going to create a methods. So 3 departments and 1 overall method. So department 1, department 2, department 3, and what is the one overall? Okay, before that I need to update, right? So update status, okay, and read status, and then overall okay, otherwise I can say supervisor. Supervisor, okay. So here this departments are going to be instance, and this is also instance method, this is instance method, Now update status also going to be called outside of the method. So I can say it's going to be instance and read status. If you want, you can keep as static as well, not an issue. So supervisor is going to be static and read is also going to be static. Come on. Okay. And the visibility is all public. This is also update public. Maybe I'm going to use this inside the method. Okay, let's find. And read status public, and this is public. Okay, description I'm not going to use it now. And update status has a parameter because inside every department they're going to update the status by calling the update status method by passing what is the status of the production order. So released or partially confirmed, confirmed. So I need a parameter, import parameter of production order status, and it's going to be a importing parameter. Here it is, importing parameter, and associated type is going to be some characters 10. Okay, that's it. Excuse me. So here update status, I'm going to write the code inside the update status method. So here I'm going to pass a method. Whoever is calling this method with the help of the value, whatever value they're passing, I'm going to update in my static variable. And you can have a signature on and off if you want to see what is the signature of this method, nothing but parameters. I have only one parameter, so I'm going to say static, this one, static production order status is equal to my import parameter status. That's it. Okay. So department 1. So here I'm going to call the update status method. So me hyphen, because it's going to be inside the class. So here update status. You can use pattern or you can say one more time control space bar. It will give the parameters of the particular method. So I am status. So department 1 is saying it's released. Save it, go back, and department 2 is going to say partially confirmed, and department 3 is going to say fully confirmed or closed, whatever it is. So department 2, so me underscore update status, control space bar one more time, select update status, you'll get the parameters. Okay, so here they are saying it's partially confirmed. Go back for the department 3. Me update status, confirmed. Okay, so 3 department work, and then sometimes supervisor also can update directly to the status of the production order. So me update status, Okay, once again, this is a static method. So update status method should be a static, then only I'm able to call here. Okay, that's the reason. Let me change to static. You can change the design and go to supervisor. I'm sorry, I need to use a class name because it's a static one, right? So ZGI class static or instance double arrow provide status. Sorry, update status. One more time to get the parameters, and here it's saying quality check. Okay, so sometimes supervisor may change the production order status to quality check. It depends on the business need. So almost everything is ready, and finally I'm going to read what is the status, current status of the production order. So go to read status, and here just I'm going to write it. That's it. Write status of the production order. So here I didn't have any production order. Just leave it. You can add if whatever need for your requirement. Production order status. Static attribute. Save, check, and activate. Okay, this is the first time activation, so try to activate all the properties of your method. Okay, otherwise sometimes it shows this is active, this is not able to add it and everything. Quality check, let's see what is that. Quality check is not compatible former parameter IM status. Where it is, supervisor. So it's a little more. Quality check. Okay, because it's actually 10 character. I think I just increased it. Just trying to activate the entire class. Yes, all activated, and go back and you can start testing it. Okay, so now you can feel okay, I'll just come to later. I'm going to test it in SE24 itself. I'm not going to create any program to call this one because you already know what, and I'll just explain how to test it in SE24 itself. So by default, you are able to see update status, read status, supervisor, because these are static methods. So to execute, you don't need any object. The class name itself enough, so you can just simply click the buttons to execute it. If you feel to execute an instance method, then you have to create an object first, even for testing. Just click create, then it will display all the instance method as well. So there are some different icons over here to understand it is instant method, these are static methods. Okay, and if I say click department 1 is executed, meaning it doesn't have any write statement, so that's why it's not show anything. After clicking department, I'm going to say what is the status of it, read status. So it shows production order is released. Okay, and if I say department 2 and again read status, so production order is partially confirmed. Then the supervisor says okay, it needs a quality check. He's going to execute his own method, and if you see what is the value of the static attribute, it's a quality check. And finally department 3 is going to execute, and if you see read status, it says production order is confirmed. Okay, so this is a way it works, static and instance. And here if you see the difference between our normal ABAP, if it is a normal ABAP, same requirement, we are not going to create this much method or object or static, everything. Simply open maybe it may be a global variable and keep it in the top include program and write a subroutine and just design it whatever is required. Okay, so there is no more object involved. Whenever you need, call the department. So but in object oriented, you can see it's quite little close to the real time, how the real time would be the same way we are designing it here. So every department has its own object, every department has its own method, so everything is close related with the real-time scenarios. The same way, please try to design your object-oriented program as well. So please try to create a simple class for your normal day-to-day development. For ABAP development, slowly try to create a OOPS class. Start with very simple method and classes. Slowly go with instant and static. I can say create a class with full instance. Okay, if you have a doubt between static and instance, just go with all instance method, create an object, call it whenever you require, and slowly implement one of the static method, one of the static attribute. Then it's very easy to understand for you. Okay, so same way you can create another example I have shown you in that, like every department has its own material allocation to be generated, right? So for that you have to create a 3 instance method and the same, sorry, 3 instance attribute and one static attribute for overall material stock. Okay, so hope that will be quite easy for you. Just try, and if you find any difficulty on it, please let me know. Okay, so hope this example video could be easy for you to understand about the static and instant. Please play around, and if you have any doubt, please let me know. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video.